Have you ever woken up one day and thought, wait, is this it? Is this all my life is going to be? Most people spend the first half of their lives on autopilot, chasing what others expect. A stable job, the right house, the perfect relationship. You check the boxes, but deep down, something's missing. Here's the truth. Your real life begins the moment you realize you can rewrite the script. And the pen? It's in your hand. Today, we're going to walk through the exact turning points when people stop surviving and start living. You'll learn how science says you can rewire your brain at any age, why cutting old baggage might be the most courageous thing you'll ever do, and how to live each day like it's actually yours. And if you stay with me until the end, I'll share something that has helped thousands of people let go of emotional clutter and finally create space for a life they love. But first, let's talk about that moment, the one that changes everything. Meet Daniel, 42 years old, worked 15 years in corporate finance. On paper, he had it all: salary, benefits, even the corner office. But one Tuesday morning, he's sitting in a board meeting nodding at a spreadsheet when a thought hits him like a punch. If I died tomorrow, none of this would matter. That's the awakening moment. It's not always dramatic, no lightning bolts, no choir of angels. Sometimes it's as quiet as the sound of your own truth, finally getting loud enough to hear. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance, when your actions no longer match your deeper values. It's the brain's way of saying, hey, something's off here. And here's the science. Studies from Stanford show that awareness is the first step in any lasting change. Until you see the problem, you can't change it. Most people ignore it. They push the feeling down, tell themselves, I should be grateful. But the ones who listen, they start asking better questions. What do I actually want? Who am I without the titles, the labels, the roles? What if I stopped living for approval and started living for meaning? Daniel didn't quit his job the next day. He didn't move to Bali to find himself. He simply decided to stop letting life happen to him. He began designing it, choice by choice, week by week. And maybe you're thinking, that sounds risky. But here's the real risk: waking up at 70 and realizing you lived someone else's life. So the first step to your real life, hear that whisper inside, and for once, don't ignore it. Because next, we're going to talk about the science that proves, no matter your age, you can actually rebuild your mind for the life you want.
Let's bust a myth right now. Your brain is not fixed. It's not some old computer stuck with whatever software it came with. Neuroscience calls it neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. Dr. Michael Merzenich, a pioneer in the field, showed that even people in their 60s and 70s can grow new neural connections just by learning new skills. Translation: it's never too late to change. Think of your brain like a path in a forest. If you walk the same route every day, it becomes smooth, familiar. That's your habits. But start walking a new way, learn guitar, meditate, speak a new language, and you carve fresh trails. The more you use them, the stronger they get. Here's the catch. Awareness without action changes nothing. You can't just know the trail exists. You've got to walk it. One of my coaching clients, Mia, was 38 and convinced she was too old to start her own design studio. But she committed to one simple brain exercise: 30 minutes a day, learning and practicing design skills online. Within a year, not only had her skill set exploded, but her confidence did too. Her brain had literally rewired for creativity and problem solving. Science says you can teach an old dog new tricks, but only if the old dog actually gets off the couch. Now, awareness is great, but it's useless if you're still dragging around the weight of things or people that no longer fit who you're becoming, which brings us to something a lot harder. Brené Brown once said, "You can choose courage or comfort, but you can't have both. And nothing tests that more than letting go. For Olivia, that meant ending a 10-year friendship. It wasn't toxic, exactly, but it had stopped being healthy. Every time they met, Olivia left feeling drained, small, unheard. The truth was, that friendship was tied to an old version of her, one she'd outgrown. Research on emotional well-being shows that holding on to outdated goals, relationships, or identities creates identity clutter. It's like keeping clothes in your closet that don't fit. They just take up space for what does. Letting go isn't about being cold or selfish. It's about making room. Here's a simple test. Ask yourself, if I met this person or started this project today, knowing what I know now, would I still say yes? If the answer is no, it might be time to release it. And yeah, it's scary, but remember, nature hates a vacuum. The space you create by letting go will be filled, often with something better. Once Olivia stepped back from that friendship, she found herself meeting people who shared her values and inspired her. That wouldn't have happened if she'd clung to the old out of guilt or habit. And here's where it gets exciting, because once you've cleared the space, you can start filling it with what actually matters, your core values.
3. Harvard's 75-year study of adult development found that people who live aligned with their core values are not only happier, they're physically healthier. Your values are like your GPS. Without them, you might still be moving, but you have no idea where you're going. Take Marcus, a 35-year-old software engineer. His top value? Freedom. But it structured his life around job security. Long hours, constant availability, no room to breathe. No wonder he felt trapped. Once he recognized this mismatch, he started making small shifts. Remote work, more flexible projects, blocking off weekends for travel. The result? Same career, but a life that actually fit him. Finding your values isn't complicated. Ask, when do I feel most alive? What do I stand for no matter what? If I had 5 years left, how would I spend them? Once you know your values, you stop chasing shiny distractions. You make decisions faster, and you attract people and opportunities that resonate. Which leads to another freedom we all crave, freedom from the comparison game. Comparison is the thief of joy, and Instagram is its favorite playground. Dr. Kristen Neff's research on self-compassion shows that when you treat yourself like you treat a close friend, with kindness, patience, understanding, you're less affected by social pressure. I had a client, Jake, who constantly compared his career to his college roommates. Every LinkedIn update was a gut punch. We worked on shifting his focus inward, measuring progress against his own past self, not someone else's highlight reel. Within months, his stress dropped and, ironically, his career advanced faster. Humor break. You know that one friend who posts vacation photos like they're auditioning for a travel magazine? Yeah, they also post their just woke up selfie after 10 minutes of lighting setup. When you stop competing in other people's races, you finally have energy for your own. And with that energy, you can focus on what really counts. Not more stuff, but richer experiences.
Here's the thing. All the awareness, all the letting go, all the reconnecting, it only matters if you live it. Not someday, not when things calm down. Now. The most powerful shift you can make is to see each day as a page in the story you want to tell. And sometimes that means clearing out emotional baggage that's been holding you hostage. That's where a method like Ho'oponopono can be life-changing. It's a Hawaiian practice for releasing resentment, guilt, and self-judgment, creating space for peace and clarity. I've seen it help people untangle decades of emotional knots in weeks. There's a certification program created by Dr. Joe Vitale and Dr. Ihaleakala Heulen that teaches you this method step by step. It's fully online. You can do it at your own pace, and right now it's only $39 instead of nearly $400. You even get an international certificate when you finish. Whether you use it for your own growth or to help others as a coach, it gives you a practical, proven way to let go of what's heavy and step into the life you've been designing in your mind. Imagine starting tomorrow lighter, freer, and actually excited about what's ahead. That's possible. And it can start the moment you decide your real life begins now.